Hello and welcome to the Flock Hosting Update for July and August. It's becoming a very bi-monthly thing, as between the months things go sideways, upside down, backwards, and further. As you can see, things are changing a little bit around here. It has been a while since I've really dug into this. I've gotten some new things to kind of block things off a little bit, so my home office isn't always as cluttered and you guys kind of have a little bit less distraction versus that. And then two, if I get really crazy, I can put things in editing up here to where I have lots of room and I can take and display some stuff for you guys. It has been a busy couple of months. I have the blog open up in the background here, and there has just been things going, and almost gone. Kind of a recap for those of you guys who have not seen a Flock update lately. The month of May and June came through. We had a lot of email issues with blockages. We had Weebly packages still being talked about. We got talks about upgrades. We got talk about me being tired and growth, and a lot of things have happened. If you haven't been following the blog, you'll note there are two posts which I am going to link in the show notes. Number one, first and foremost, is Jonah. And Jonah I want to cover a lot, but I'm just going to kind of bullet point it right there. Jonah is a mail server. It is big, it is new, and it is available to you. Get back to that in a second. The other item that we have on top is the WordPress hosting. So there's two new things coming to Flock Hosting, as well as a new flockhosting.com. And that's number one, flockhosting.com. It is outdated. It is antiquated. It is something that I spend less time on than I probably should. I need to spend more time. The problem being is that I deal with everything else going on with you guys. It's a priority. I've had actually a new customer to Flock Hosting that does web design make some comments, suggestions that might be something that I can work with them on to take and maybe freshen up Flock Hosting. The biggest problem, even with a freshened up design, is content, and that is my biggest problem. There are comments in there that no longer apply to things like church hosting. A lot of people have asked questions about, how do they get the free domain? I don't want a free domain. How do I use basic hosting? How do I use WordPress? And there's 1,000 different questions that need to be updated in the frequently asked questions. There's a lot going on in the realm of church hosting. Some of you guys have been amazing. I have had regular donations now. And again, I do not gawk the amount. Anything you guys ever give is an amazing blessing. It helps expand. It is helped pay for Weebly, which churches are using. As I'm giving Weebly packages, which cost me money, I give those churches for free. So if you're using Weebly and you enjoy it, there are some people out there that are helping keep this alive and keep this going. And I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we have the two things that need to be added to flockhosting.com. There's been the ever-going discussion about changing up the plans, getting rid of two plans, going to one. There's been talk of, how do I do that? What do I do? Do I split Flock Hosting's church hosting site off to a nonprofit? What is the end goal? What is the desire? What is the plan? What is going on? And to that answer, I have no idea. There's still a lot to consider. There's still a lot to go on. As this fiscal year for me is becoming, we're halfway and we're reaching into another half. It has been busy. It has been attacks. It has been server outages. It has been up, down, back, forth. Everything's going on. And so there's a lot going on and how that will all firm up. But for the time being, my goal is before year's end to have Flock Hosting content-wise really updated, to answer more questions for people for pre-sales, give people some feedback, and I would love to have more testimonials from customers. I know some of you guys have been with me for over 10 years, and it has been an amazing ride, as you probably realize. There's been a lot going on. Some of you guys know about secret things that I do for customers. You guys have been always brave enough to say, Chuck, can we? And I said, yes, we can, or no, we can't. And some of you guys benefit from that, some of you guys don't. Some of you guys are using the stock plans, and you've never reached out to me for any help whatsoever. If you need help, that's why I'm here. I'm the guy who can take and do things, make things work, and you don't have to look at another provider. You don't need to look at switching or this and that. And so that's where we're going to take and go from, yes, the website by the end of 2016 will be refreshed, rebuilt, and looking snazzy. So keep me in your prayers for that. A lot to do, a lot going on behind the scenes, and some of that takes away from always the time that I have that I need to take and work for you guys as well as myself and get these things done. So prayers are appreciated. So, trying to stay semi on point, let's get to the first thing on the list. We've got Jonah. Jonah. Jonah is a name that some of you guys have heard in your tickets. There has been a lot of continued problems with this email deliverability. Services like Outlook, Microsoft Office 365, all these different services like Gmail, Yahoo, AT&T, a couple others have been very problematic to get mail out to. AOL was one last week alone. That between my fleet of servers as well as servers fleets that I manage for other customers, we've had nothing but deliverability problems. And the issue at hand is the biggest problem out of all of it, forwarding. Now Jonah is built to take and kind of stave off some of that. Jonah is built around an amazing email server called iRead Pro. Invested some money into it. It has an amazing webmail client, as well as one of the standards you guys know with RainCube. But it has one called Sogo. It is amazing. It is fluid. It's fancy. I think fancy has been the most common word I've heard associated with it. So if you're looking for a fancy webmail client and a new email experience, Jonah is your ticket. And for those of you, again, there's going to be a link to the article on meeting Jonah in the show notes. But basically, Jonah is my labor of love. I don't want you guys to have problems with email. You guys sign up for a domain name not because you like to use your Gmail account, but because you want it to look like you have your own domain. And when you link back to your domain name at gmail.com, it kind of is lackluster. It kind of doesn't unify your brand, because suddenly you're linking Gmail and you're linking this. And for some of you, brand is very important, and I get that. So Jonah comes in to take and help perpetuate the deliverability of your email services. It can work in conjunction with MX Guard-Dog. It has a great built-in anti-spam system as it is. But if you have MX Guard-Dog with us already, we can shift that server over, and it's quick. It has a tremendous amount of storage, ranking in at 4 terabytes of data to provide you guys, and that's a tremendous amount of data. It's a very large labor of love, because like I said, I want people to have deliverability, and one of our biggest problems is the outgoing email, and that includes forwards. Forwards, if you aren't familiar with, or you do use them and you're not entirely sure what I'm trying to get at, imagine that you're taking and sending a mail. We'll use my domain for example. I have sales@flockhosting.com. Well, I don't want to have another email account to check. I want to keep it simple. I have a Gmail account. Let's just forward everything there. You would not believe the amount of spam I get to that address. So when it hits that address, the spam, the good email, the bad email, and anything in between flows from one end to the other. Now that's a problem, because Google doesn't have any delineation. Google doesn't say, oh, well, this is a forwarder. He's forwarding email. So that's not how it works. Google simply sees a flow of email, in which case if you have no spam filtering, as some people don't, not even using the built-in Spam Assassin, MX Guard-Dog, or any of the other utilities we have, they don't think about spam because Gmail filters their spam. I used to think the same too, so please, this is not an insult, this is not a put-down, this is just the ever-changing, ever-evolving world of email. Even myself, I've had to take and make changes in even my personal accounts, because I host some of my own personal sites, projects, and stuff like that. And instead of forwarding them to Gmail, I've had to take and make Gmail log in. I'm going to include some notes on how to do this, because Gmail is by far one of the most popular emails that people tell me, I want this to forward to my Gmail. It is possible to create an account on Flock Hosting servers and check it utilizing your Gmail. What this does is removes that link that says the server, like Lily or Grace or Church or Fellowship, any of our fleet servers, instead of it saying, oh, Church is blasting a massive amount of spam to Yahoo or Gmail or anything else, it removes that. You can do the same thing with Yahoo. You can do it a lot. There's other email clients as well that if you're not a fan of the webmail that's built into Flock Hosting, or you're not a fan of using Outlook or Thunderbird, Postbox, any IMAP compliant client, if you're not the fan of that and you want that web experience, get in touch with me. We've helped out customers with additional webmail options that are completely 100% SSL secured, and you have no worries. But if you are looking to just take and move everything and have a more deliverable platform, check out Jonah. It's 100% free. All it requires is simple migration. This evening I've done 2. As customers are finding out this more and more as they approach a problem, but I want to make you more aware that Jonah exists, and it is 100% free. There is a management administration. You guys can actually, you'll have your primary account will be a administrator. You can add, remove, create aliases, and I ask that you keep those aliases going, because the other half of this, as of 2017, my effort and my goal is to eliminate outbound SMTP connections for forwards. I do not want to forward mail to a third-party service. If you were using your Gmail, I don't want to do that anymore. The reason being, I want the highest deliverability possible. You signed up for an email address in your name. Why use it anywhere else? Because when you reply on the Gmail side, it comes from your @Gmail account. So let's help you solidify your brand. Let's help you progress this higher deliverability, because as it stands, we're doing great in the realm of preventing spam, but it's when that spam filters through we have the issues. And to get off these lists sometimes can take up to 7 business days. That's not including weekends. That's 7 business days. So Monday through Friday plus another Monday and Tuesday. And that's creating a lot of issues for some of you guys who use Flock hosting for business and even for just personal websites. So please work with me over the next 6 months, 5 months, whatever we technically have left, to make sure that we have that deliverability moving into 2017 with fewer problems. The other thing before we get back to email, yes, I've got a to-do list, and the other part comes in later as a whole new thing. But anyway, WordPress hosting. You guys may know about the managed WordPress hosting that is available through Flock Hosting. It's 100% free. You install a plugin. I do all the heavy lifting. I do backups. I do security scans. I do plugin updates. Right now we're holding off on WordPress 4.6 just to make sure plugin developers have time to catch up before I push it, and all of a sudden a third of your plugins are broken. So if you wish 4.6, you can always do these updates manually. But if not, using this, we'll roll it out for you as it becomes safe. WordPress hosting, though, builds upon that, and it's a platform that I've just been very excited about, and it's not something I've had a lot of time to build out to give you guys a lot of information about. What it is basically a customized platform. You will no longer be using the cPanel system, and for some people, that's a deal breaker, and I understand that. But for some of you guys, WordPress is your profession. WordPress is not just a hobby blog, but it is a ministry tool. It is a developer just playground to where a couple of you guys have amazingly just flourishing blogs, and you need to make sure that your site is responsive. You need to make sure that your site loads quickly. You need to make sure that your assets are loading quickly, and that's where this comes in. There's going to be some upgrades to the general fleet as well, but these currently cluster of about 8 servers as it stands. We take and load in your site. It will provide you with SSL right off the bat, so your site is more secure. It includes an enhanced version of PHP 7, so you're using the latest and greatest MySQL. In this case, we're actually using the drop-in replacement MariaDB, but it's a fine-tuned machine for working WordPress. And if you look on the blog post, which will be linked here, it's going to give you all the stuff. It's going to come in at a $10 price point. There's going to be, again, this is a specialized hosting, and it's going to include everything you could need. It's going to include even a collection of plugins that I have commercially that, as this program I'm developing with you, I can provide these plugins which do image fine-tuning. It can take and give you stuff for white labeling your entire WordPress dialog. So if you want to take and bring in other people, it's whitelisted to you, and the white labeling is just amazing. So there are some great add-ons to this, including things like Piwik, which I have an entire Piwik server. If you're not familiar with Piwik, it's similar to Google Analytics. It's a statistics program that really gives some amazing numbers and amazing insight to what your site is doing. So if you are interested in WordPress hosting, in the very least, do take a look at the blog post in the show notes, get you some more information. Okay, what else do we have? The next thing on the list, I think even possibly the last, as we're coming up on 15 minutes, and you know me, I will go on for hours if allowed, is a system called Spam Experts. I've been working with Spam Experts and running a trial. The trial seems pretty straightforward for external filtering. And what this is external filtering for your email and everything else. It also has an outbound filter, which is the one thing I'm having hard time fine-tuning, because part of the issue is it has to be done per domain for billing, but at the same time it wants to install per server and blanket everybody. I'm right now basically balancing out what the budget would look like to take and afford half of this for you guys, to take it and actually handle all of the outbound, which in some ways eliminates the need for Jonah. But Jonah is going to be there if you need a more specialized email service in general. Some of you guys are using private mail servers, which those will continue to function. And again, your blacklisting is on you. If you're blasting spam, I can't always quickly turn it around to get you guys removed from the blacklist. So be mindful that if you need a mailing program, get in touch with me. I have MailChimp, MailerLite. I have probably a good 10-15 that have good entry-level free and or low-cost options. But basically, it's exciting. The program offers some amazing spam filtering, and the price point is going to be about $5 per domain. That's the tentative right now. I'm seeing what I can do to adjust the pricing further, but what it will offer you is through cPanel, you can actually enable it, you can configure it, you can do your whitelisting, you can look at reviews, you can look at what's been tagged as a virus, what's not coming in. It'll show you everything at a bird's eye view, and it's an amazing, amazing value. And again, it's one of those things like Weebly that I know there's demand for, but that's why there's videos like this, and there's going to be more content coming on the Flock hosting side, because I want to make sure that you guys know what's going on. These types of services exist, because it's been my biggest problem. We have the guys who have been around on one hand for over 10 years. They know the ins and outs. They know that if there's a problem with ABC, talk to Chuck, he'll give you DEF, and then he'll build you XYZ. I want everyone to be able to take advantage of the things that we're building, things that are going on behind the scenes, and that's kind of where I'm going to segue off of that and merge into the growth and continued building of Flock hosting. It has been a wild year. Massive outages, again, still apologizing profusely for that, because it's something that is a nightmare for me. To wake up and find the entire fleet more or less offline does not leave me that warm, happy, fuzzy feeling. And so to that end, I'm still trying to rebuild. I'm still trying to work with infrastructure partners to take and create solutions which are scalable, which are uptime resilient, where they're going to take and really be resilient in that and be uptime to the maximum. I've redefined how monitoring works to make sure that, this app chimes here, this app sends me a tweet, I have made sure that, I have more real-time metrics of what's going on, so I have a better idea. And I'm making some new amazing connections with data centers to make sure that we're building solutions that work to benefit with their network, so that we don't work against them, but instead work with them. And right now I'm working with one company that has been amazing. They have helped me turn on servers, get them running, and build out a fleet within their network that is rock solid on SSDs. It is running the latest version of Linux. It's running just amazingly fast, and on top of that, scalable virtualization, which I have complete and full control over as a cluster, to where if I need to move a failed piece of hardware has died, my file system still survives, and I can boot it up on a new piece of hardware and get the other one replaced and restored and brought back into the fold. So there's some amazing, amazing stuff that we're working on to really bring cloud services, scaling of VPSs, that type of thing, into a reality within Flock hosting. Because you could sure go look at GoDaddy, or you could go look at one of these other hosts that boast, we'll give you a $5 virtual server, and you're going to find lackluster results. I want to take and provide the big stuff. I want to provide solutions that more and more lately people are asking about. Can they do reselling? Can they take and have a server that's all their own? What can they do in the realm of becoming a little bit kind of like their own hosting company? And as I do this for other companies by building 8 to 12 core servers and have 32 to 64 gigs of RAM, primary SSD, I can build out these configurations and I can make them go live. But the problem is with Flock hosting, it's always been the smaller scale, and I want to take and make sure you guys know that I'm completely capable and fully able to take and build this. And with these new network connections and new back ends that I can take and utilize, this is going to take and present new and amazing options for you guys as clients. I'm working too on things like promotion. I have been working to bring the Flock hosting brand to life, and been working on some keychains. Some of you guys may have seen these on Instagram the other day. I also have a lovely red and then yellow. There's going to actually be a batch of green coming out here soon, but they come out pretty nice, and I'm just gonna be honest, they look great hanging from a keychain. So, working on some promotional goods, working on some things like business cards and that type of thing. So, flock hosting this year, I want to end the year with a bang. I want to just go, 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 go. I want to see more churches. I want to see more paid clients. I want to see more growth in services. I want to see less spam. I want to see more deliverability. I want to see good things coming. So, if you have any questions about any of this, again, these show notes, make a comment, send me an email, chuck@flockhosting.com. That email is public. That email is out there. If you're looking for a different way to get in touch with me, check the communicate page at flockhosting.com/communicate. It includes a plethora of ways, some of which I have not done well. I have been trying to man the live hosting as much as my assistant will allow me. She's 2 years old and cute, but you know, hey, sometimes she's not really a big fan. She'd rather have me read her a book. So, if I'm not around, leave a message. I will always get back to you guys on that. Thank you guys for those of you who have been patient with me over the last weeks as things are transitioning and school schedules and everything else, as my wife goes back to work, as things are going on which just make life a little bit crazy, like a teething daughter who is getting in lower teeth, and it's very sad and painful. But I'm going to be strong. She's going to be strong too, and we're going to get this year going. So, if you have any questions, again, use these methods to get in touch with me. If you guys have any suggestions, you have any thoughts, you have anything you would like to put forth as to how you think we can build flock hosting together with you and I working together, please reach out and let me know. I always am welcome to suggestion. I'm always welcome to constructive criticism. If there is something that is not working for you, get in touch and let's get this going. I hope you guys are having an amazing August. And as usual, those of you who have kids who are going back to school, take a breath and remember, hey, enjoy it while it's there. And I pray that you guys are blessed this entire summer and had an amazing time of rest and a time of just spending time with your family and work and getting caught up where you need to get caught up and reducing stress. Look forward to working with you guys the remainder of this year. Thanks for watching. Give me feedback. This is still a work in progress, but hopefully over the next couple months we can do some amazing things. God bless you guys. Talk to you very soon.